I'm Sarah Saviet, a violinist.
And I'm Lawrence Dunn, a composer.
We met last fall and decided that we should work together. And this week we're here working on a piece that Lawrence has written for me, a solo violin piece, as well as several other contemporary works for solo violin. It's been interesting here so far because I think we've been trying to figure out how exactly to work together, because it's a unique situation to be in a place like this and have the luxury of so much time and be able to get into so much detail on a piece, to have these 3 or 4 days to focus exclusively on getting the piece ready. It's definitely the first time I've done something in this detail with the composer.
There are certain things in this piece which are so subtle and require like so much turning and looking and rotating and that sort of thing. And it's also very hard because a lot of the material might look quite simple. I mean, I write at the piano, so at the piano it's just sort of, noodling. But on the violin, it's a big deal to kind of really move through this kind of playing.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting to me is that a lot of layers that I usually explore by myself in the practice room, like different timbres and things to do with bow speed and bowing and fingering, which has such a big influence on color and really minute details.
I wrote a piece which a bit like Baroque music, has no real markings. So it has no dynamics marked, has no articulations marked, really. And there's sections which are full of crazy amounts of ornamentation. A couple hours ago, we were like, yeah, it's really difficult. It's a bit like knitting, but much harder. Like really labor-intensive, but still like knitting.
Well, there's lots of very tiny obsessive movements that you're doing over it, like really getting into.
We're having to loop one thing into the last thing that you've just done, and then you have to connect this thing, but then this is joined to another thing. So it's like 200 things that you have to join together into a sort of never-ending stream, kind of.
Like a scarf. When I have a piece that I love, and I'm sure I already like this piece, but I'm going to grow to love it even more, especially because of this collaboration, then I find it's important to me to play it as much as possible because, first of all, so that other people will hear it, but also so that I can become closer to it and I can keep working on it. And that's one of the most satisfying things to me as a musician. I've been incredibly lucky to have been at the festival for the past 4 years, actually. I first came as a performer in Oliver Nusson's performance and composition course. I was here actually a month ago to play Midsummer Night's Dream, the Britten opera. And I guess I just keep coming back because this is basically one of my favorite places in the world. Coming and working as a musician and feeling, there's so much support and there's so much music in the environment and there's a lot of space to breathe and experiment and the air is so wonderful. I don't know, lots of interesting things can happen and it's just absolutely beautiful here. So I'm a really big fan of this place.